Hello everyone, welcome to this particular video. In this particular video, we are going to talk about how you can optimize your query. So when you're using multiple joins, how you can write optimized query. Also, we are going to learn about various ways to write a subquery. So this is all what we are going to discuss in this particular video. But before we start this video, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, share this video with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel, Session with Sumit.
So how we can optimize a query while writing, let's say, multiple joins in our SQL. So let's say, so here I'll take the example from HR or the company database. Select a star from employees. Now this table is having details of all the employees, and I have one more table which is departments, and this table is having details of all the departments. Now let's say I have to join these two tables. Also I have to filter out. So let's say this is my table. My question is find department wise average salary. That is the main question which we have to answer, but there is a filter also where manager ID is not equal to 0. That's one filter, and department name is not executive. Now here you can see that I have one filter that has to be applied over the employee table, another filter that has to be applied over the departments table, and we have to join these two tables also. So let's first of all join these two tables. Select a star from the employees table A, inner join departments B on A dot department ID is equal to B dot department ID. Now we have joined the two tables. Now while we are joining the table, we can simultaneously filter the data. I do not have to actually write a separate where clause and then mention that where A dot manager ID is not equal to 0 and B dot department name is not equal to executive. I do not have to do it. The way we are writing the query right now is not the optimized way of writing a query. The better way is when you are basically joining multiple tables and you have to perform filter over those table itself. Then when you are joining those tables and when you have mentioned the on clause over here itself, you can write the filter like this, and A dot manager ID is not equal to 0 and B dot department name is not equal to executive. Now this will take less time as compared to what I had written previously. Also, we are required to find out department wise average salary. So B dot department name comma average of A dot salary. We will apply group by B dot department name, and we are done. Now this is the better way of optimizing or maybe writing a query which involves filter while you are joining multiple tables. Is this clear? So when it comes to subquery, we can use a subquery in three different ways. Number one is we can use a subquery in where clause, in from clause, even in select clause. We can use subqueries in any of these with any of these clause that is present in your main query or the master query, I would say. Let's see the very first example, because we have already seen variety of examples around it, but let's take a very quick example. I'll use my HR database, and the two tables with which we are going to work on this particular example is the employees table followed by the departments table. Now let's say I wanted to find out the average salary of executive department. So how we can do this? I want so I'll first of all say using the department table, I'll first of all fetch out the department ID of the executive department. So as you guys already know that a subquery will have two queries which are connected to each other. The master query or the main query will let me find out the average salary from the employees table where the department ID is equal to, and now I have to find out the department ID from the departments table corresponding to the executive department. So I'll write another query over here. Select department ID from the table departments where department name is equal to executive, and run it. So this is the answer. So this particular query is going to fetch out the department ID corresponding to executive department, and then we are using that value as a filter to the main query. So here, if you guys carefully observe, we are using a subquery in the where clause, and this is one of the way in which we can write a subquery in a where clause. But how to write a subquery in select? Now the very classical example of writing a subquery in select is to find percentage. Let's understand this. So for example, I am having the employees table. So this is my employees table, and my objective is to find out, let's say, the percentage of employees working in department 50. So the question says find percentage of employees working for department 50. Now what is the formula for percentage? So percentage is given as number of employees working for department 50, and we have to divide this with total number of employees, and I will also multiply this with 100, and this is the formula, right? Let's apply this. I'll say select count star from the table employees where department ID is equal to 50. Now this will return me the number of employees working in department 50, that is 45. But how many total employees are there? So select count star from employees, and this will return me the total number of employees in the company. It's 107. So I will just simply pick this particular query. I'll divide and I'll put this query over here, and let me put it in one line so that it is simple to understand. So this query is going to return me 107, which is the total number of employees. I am dividing that number with the number of employees working in department 50, and we will quickly multiply this with 100 to get the percentage. And let's change the column name as PCT, which is percentage. So the percentage is around 42.05% employees works for department 50. So this is how we can use the subquery in the select clause. So here you can see we have a query as a part of the main query, but available in the select clause. So this is how we can use a subquery in select clause. This is how we can use a select query in where clause. But how we can use a subquery in from? So let's understand it with one example. How to use it in with from. Again, let's go back to the employees table. So select star from employees, and now I have to find out, let's say, find department wise number of employees and average salary. So let's find department wise number of employees and average salary. So select department ID comma count star. So here I'm having two aggregation column, number of employees and average of salary, from the table employees group by department ID. Now I hope you guys remember that in the group by clause I only mentioned the column which is a grouping column. In this case I have one grouping column and two aggregation column. So I'm having the department ID corresponding to the number of employee working in that department and the department average salary. Let's say I want to filter out all those departments where the average salary is less than 5,000, or so I'll use the having clause. Having average of salary is less than, let's say, 5,000. These are the departments where the average salary is less than 5,000. Let's say you wanted to find out how many employees are working in such department. So I want the sum of this column. Now what I'll do, I'll change the name of this column as CNT. I'll change the name of this column as AVG underscore sal. And now I wanted to operate on this table. So I'll say select star from, I'll use a round bracket and put this complete query in the round bracket. So please remember now that this query, which is returning us this table, is basically considered as a table itself. So I'm saying select star all the rows and columns from this table, which is basically this table. But there is no name that we have given to this table. So if I even execute this, I'll get error. And the error will say every derived table must have its own alias, which basically mean that this table does not consist of this table does not have any name right now. So I will have to give a name to this table. So let's call this table as X. Now we can execute this. So you can see that I'm getting the complete table. But I want to find the sum of this count column. So I'll simply say find sum of x.cnt. So there are 52 employees who are working in those departments where the average salary is less than 5,000. This is how we can write a subquery in from. So you can see with from we have written the complete subquery. And these are the three ways in which we can use a subquery. Number one is where clause, subquery in where. Second one is subquery in select. Third one is subqueries in from.
So that was all about this particular video. Now I hope you guys are clear with how to write optimized query and what are the various ways to use a subquery. Before we end this video, I request all of you to please share this video with your friend so that everyone can learn SQL from very basic to very advanced. Good luck.